So I've been looking for a shot mirror for an espresso machine for quite some time now. And what's been holding me back is that these things cost like $20 at least, upwards of $50 or $60 sometimes. And I just can't, I just can't bring myself to doing that and buying those. So what I found online was these mirrors, and these I found on AliExpress, and I got them for under $3 shipped. And what this is actually like decorative wall mirrors, like many different size circular mirrors that you can stick on your wall, like as a design. But these were honestly the cheapest mirrors I was able to find. And if you just have a mirror laying around, you can just glue it to like something like this. This is actually a cell phone holding magnet that you would stick on the dash of your car. So this is something else I got on AliExpress, and this was also around $3. But the problem with this is that it took me 2 months from ordering it to actually getting it in my mailbox. And you can buy this sort of thing on Amazon. It's a bit more expensive, somewhere around $10. And if I was gonna buy a shot glass mirror, espresso shot mirror, it would be pretty close to just buying the mirror and this mount from Amazon and putting it together. So instead what I did is I found a cell phone case, or excuse me, a cell phone tripod design on Thingiverse, and I just kind of modified it. So this is my first attempt at modifying it. It's a really large, really large base. It's really high off the ground, and if you were going to put a mirror on here like this, it would be kind of very large. So I tried to size it down a little bit here. It's still on the larger end, and then finally, I just instead of trying to modify the mesh, I just went and designed my own kind of copy of that. So that's what we have here. It's a much smaller design, kind of much closer in size to this magnetic car mount. The other thing I did was I printed just like a base, a mirror base, just to kind of clean up the edges of these cheapo AliExpress mirrors. And this is actually got a protective cover on it, so you can see there that I just left it on for protection. But you can see that I put a little indent on the back so you can stick it on centered. But what you want to do if you were to download on Thingiverse some of the pieces, you would actually get something 4 or 5 of these pieces, depending on the size of your mirror. And if you don't want to buy these mirrors from AliExpress and wait 2 months, that makes a lot of sense to me. You can find any mirror you have laying around. So, if you have a female friend that has like a used compact, which has a kind of pocket mirror, you could, repurpose that mirror and just glue it onto this sort of ball joint. So when you print out these pieces, you'll print out at least these 3. These 3 form the base. This is a rotating ball that fits into this ball mount. And this is a screw that you screw in to hold it in place. And actually, when you try to shove these in, it won't actually fit in easily. And that's really by design, so the ball doesn't slip out. So after you print it, you just have to force it in there. And once you force it in, it's really not coming out. I wouldn't advise you try it because you probably end up breaking it actually. So once it's in, it's really kind of stuck in there. You can screw in this screw, and that'll keep this mirror oriented however you place it. So I really like that design from the tripod, and so I just made a lower profile version of that here so that it fits a little better onto your espresso machine or below your espresso machine. So anytime you're working with PLA and you're bonding 2 pieces of PLA together, I generally recommend that you sand the surfaces you're bonding before you attach it with some sort of super glue. So this is a Loctite gel super glue. So this is a 180 grit sandpaper here. Just gonna rough up the surfaces. Get off any of that plastic residue. And now this surface, instead of being perfectly smooth from the bottom of the print bed, right, it's now a little rough. So the glue will have something to hold onto. rough surface, and you can see that circular guide here. So what I'll do is I'll just drop a little bit of glue onto the bottom of this mirror. And then stick the mirror on. I'm just gonna tighten this so it stays kind of level. And then glue this guy on here and just stick it on. Okay, so that it's centered. All right, so the actual mirror itself, it's got a paper backing. And I'm just gonna use a little bit more glue here to stick it on the back. I was thinking about using an Elmer's glue, just because it would be a little bit easier, but since I already have this super glue here, I'll just drop a couple dots on here and stick it on. So that's really simple. Just add a couple of dots of this glue. You don't need too much. It's not a very heavy mirror and it's not really going anywhere. Just stick it in here. All right, so if you have, like me, bought this magnetic car mount, you can just take off this adhesive and stick it directly on the back here using that circle as a guide. And now you have an adjustable shot mirror. And this is magnetic, so if you have a machine that has a magnetic base, it'll just stick on here. Like this thing came with a magnetic base, and you can see, you can stick it on in various places. So hopefully this saves you a little bit of money. You can, print out one of these guys and just glue it onto whatever mirror you have laying around here. Or you can buy these mirrors and make a bunch for your friends.